What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here to give you my record prediction for the Indianapolis Colts this 2021 NFL regular season, breaking down every matchup, every game, and giving you my pick-by-pick analysis week 1 through week 18 with their 17 games this 2021 NFL regular season. This is my record prediction for the Colts this season. Before I give you that record for 2021, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more bottom line view NFL content and record predictions just like this, as well as the rest of the AFC South, which you can check out in the playlist. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the Colts this season. Do you think they'll win the division? Do you think they'll take a step back? Do you think they'll enter as a wild card? Do you think they may miss the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's check out that schedule. The Colts kick off the 2021 NFL regular season with the Seattle Seahawks. I personally think the Seahawks pick up the win in week 1. Reason being is Russell Wilson is phenomenal in week number 1. And I think a lot of the things that went wrong for the Colts in week 1 of last year will happen again. A new quarterback in a new system. And it's not really the system because there's familiarity here with Carson Wentz and Frank Reich, but it's the continuity and chemistry between his receivers, his offensive line, and the quarterback. And I think things will be slow on that end. But the ability to contain Russell Wilson is always difficult. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, tough to cover. I think the Seahawks end up winning an exciting week 1 game. Week 2, I also have you going 0-2. The LA Rams, I think, are going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. They have a very solid defense. Quentin Nelson and Aaron Donald, that's going to be a show. But Matthew Stafford, I think, will ultimately be the difference. I think they have the receivers in the passing game to target your weakness, which is your pass defense, I believe, with your corners and your pass rush, which I'm just not sold on because there's a lot of young players and they're going to have to really pop off the screen early, and it usually takes some time for those guys to develop. Now, I think in week 3, you do pick up your first win of the season versus Tennessee. I think you split this season versus the Titans. You win the first one, you lose the second one. This is why. I think you'll win the first one because you don't want to go 0-3, a little bit of desperation here. But secondly, I think the Titans, even more so than the Colts, have some young players in key spots, right? Wide receiver, they lost Corey Davis. Tight end, they lost Jonnu Smith. They lost their offensive coordinator. So offensively, there's going to be bumps in the road for them. It's going to take time. It's going to take reps together on the field in real time to get better. And I think the Titans offense will be slow to start the season. Defensively, they have a lot of young corners, a lot of young secondary players that in that type of defense and what Mike Vrabel wants from his defense, it's a lot of complex stuff, and I think the Colts can take advantage of that. Week 4, you play the Dolphins. I think you beat the Dolphins to get to 2-2 here because I think you're a really good matchup for the Dolphins personally. Like, I look at the Dolphins and I think they'd struggle with your style of play. The Colts can run the football, power running game. They have a strong offensive line and a strong defensive line where they can really run the line of scrimmage. And I think that's where the Dolphins are at their weakest. They're strong on the perimeter on both sides of the football. They have a good coach, but they're not great on the O and D lines, and I think that is where the Colts can really win this game, at the line of scrimmage. Week 5, you play the Ravens. Now, this is going to be tougher on the line of scrimmage. I think the Ravens could easily win this game, but I believe I picked the Colts to beat the Ravens in the Ravens predictions. And I said because of what I saw last year. Now, the Ravens beat the Colts, I think it was 24-10 last year, but it was kind of a wacky game, a lot based on turnovers, just a lot of wackiness. This year, I could see Carson Wentz on Monday night having a big game, making some plays outside the pocket, big throws, and I just feel like the Colts are a pretty good matchup for what the Ravens offer. I think they have a fast enough front seven to track down Lamar in the open field. I think they have a really strong offensive line to protect Wentz. I don't think the Ravens have a great pass rush. What they like to do is blitz, so that will open up some matchups on the outside for you. I think Frank Reich will have a big game plan here. and they'll end up winning this game. Week 6, they play the Texans. They should win that game at home. You know, you might slip up here and there and lose the other game on the road to the Texans. That could happen, even though I think the Texans will be awful because they won't have Deshaun Watson, but I doubt it. So ultimately, I have the Colts winning both games and sweeping the Texans. The Texans are going to be bad if they do not have Watson. It's just that simple. Week 7, they play the Niners. I'm going to give the Niners the win here. I think, yeah, let's give the Niners the win. It's really close. Like, I could see both teams winning. I think they're pretty similar, to be honest. I think Kyle Shanahan's a better version of Frank Reich on the offensive side of the ball. I think the Niners have more explosive elements to their team, but they're kind of built similarly, especially on defense, right? They play a similar type of defense. So I could see this one going either way, but because it's in San Francisco, I'm going to lean towards the 49ers here to pick up that win. I think the Niners will be very good. Week 9, they play the Jets. The Jets are one of those teams that I could see giving you guys some difficulties. It is on Thursday night, though, in Indianapolis, and that's why I lean towards the Colts. I know the Jets aren't very good on paper, but they match up fairly well with the Colts because of that big, beastly D-line that will be one of the best run-defending lines in the league. So that's something you need to watch out for in that matchup, and who knows, maybe Zach Wilson has a magical game, but I'm going to say that it doesn't happen. Week 10, Jacksonville. Now, I want to say you'll drop a game to the Jags, but I'm not exactly sure. Like, I could see you losing a game to the Jags. You did lose one last year to Jacksonville, but this is a new coaching staff. This is a new quarterback. This is a new a lot of things. So I could see you losing one game to Jacksonville here. And I'm going to say you do. So you lose to Jacksonville in week 10, but I do think you'll beat them in week 18. Okay, so I'll put that there. I think you'll at least split with Jacksonville, if not sweep them. I very much doubt that they'll sweep you, but Jacksonville's more talented than they're giving credit for, especially now with Trevor Lawrence, so they should be able to pick up one win in this rivalry. Week 11, Buffalo. I believe I gave Buffalo the win in my record predictions, but I might actually change my mind on that, so I'm going to wait. Week 12, though, I have Tampa Bay picking up the win over you guys. I think Tampa is one of the worst matchups in the league for you. Now, obviously, Tampa's the best team in the league on paper, and they're the best team because they're the Super Bowl champs. But when you look at the matchups, they're a very bad matchup, right? Your defensive scheme is not a match to play those receivers and Tom Brady. It just isn't. And then you look at the other side of the ball, they have the best run D in the league, and you guys like running the ball, and that's your strong suit on offense. So it's just a really bad matchup. Plus, Tom Brady kind of owns the Colts for the most part, so I'm going to go with the Bucs. Then you have the bye week, and you play New England. I have the Patriots winning this game right now. This was another one where I did the Patriots record predictions where I wasn't exactly sure. Like, I think it could be an either way type of game. And I might actually change my mind on that one as well as the Bills game. Like, it's kind of a sway game. I feel like the Colts match up decently well with New England, but I almost feel like New England is kind of like a better version of the Colts. Like, they both have strong offensive lines. Both quarterbacks are rather shaky. I think the Patriots have better weaponry. I think the Patriots have better coaching. I think the Patriots have a better defense. So it's pretty close, but I think New England is the better team, and that's why I give them the edge. I think you'll beat the Raiders in week 17, and I think you'll rather beat the Cardinals or the Bills. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure here, and because I did say in the first video that the Bills would beat the Colts, I'll give the Bills the win here. I just think that matchup with Josh Allen, you know, and those receivers, it was really tough to stop and contain them in the playoffs. And you guys played just about a perfect game. And honestly, you had a real chance to win that playoff game. But Rivers played about his best football possible. The offense played very, very well. They missed out on some opportunities, and you still lost the game. So At the end of the day, I think the Bills, they're at home. They should be able to beat you guys, but I wouldn't be shocked because of how well you played them in the playoffs if you picked up that upset. I'm going to say you do beat the Cardinals in Week 16 to ultimately result in a 9-8 record. Now, currently, I have the Colts as the best team in the AFC South. And I know that some people will say, whoa, the best team in the AFC South at 9-8? That seems a little low. That seems a little shocking. But honestly, I don't see this division being very good this year. I think it'll be a lot like last year, where the team that wins it will be slightly above 500. You know, like last year, I think it was 10-6 or 11-5, somewhere in that lane. I think it will be a little bit less than that. I think the Titans have regressed. I think the Colts are about the same. So right now I have the Colts, but it could easily sway to the Titans at 9-8 here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Are you going with the Colts in this division? What do you think their record will be? Am I too low on them? Am I too high on them? Let me know in the comment section below. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Gronk, spike that like button. Check out the rest of the playlist. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.